David Morrison from Morrison Financial. Well, you know, the company is Morrison, it's Morrison Financial, so he's big, right? He's a lawyer with a background in corporate and commercial transactions. He saw a need for companies like small and medium-sized companies to have easier and faster access to financing. He saw the need to help these companies access alternative ways to manage their working capital. And this in turn led to the development of Morrison Financial. This is important, he's a friend of Jamaica. Maybe he should have been selecting the Miss Universe. Morrison Financial financed their first development in 1999 in Spanish Town and has stepped in to finance the gates of Edge Hill. Please welcome Mr. David Morrison.
Thank you very much. I'd like to start off with a couple of remarks that weren't in my plan to talk today, tell you a couple of stories. The first one is that when I learned that Her Excellency Janice Miller would not be able to attend tonight, I reminded His Honor Lloyd Wilkes that under the Emergency Measures Act, he has the power to appoint me Deputy High Commissioner for the evening, and he agreed to do so, but he limited my appointment for just 5 minutes. It's running out, okay? So before it runs out, I would like to welcome you here on behalf of the government of Jamaica and thank you for attending. And I got in just on this one. I no longer have any official capacity. The other thing I'd like to tell you is that several months ago, I was traveling into Jamaica. Most of you here will be familiar with the airport at Montego Bay. And you'll know that when a couple of planes come in at the same time, it gets crowded, and they make you go through these cattle lines where you have to walk so much this way and so much that way. You can't stray from the course because there's bars that stop you from doing so. And I was in one of these lines, and it was hot. It was crowded. And I started out a conversation with a young man wearing a baseball cap like I was, a t-shirt, no suit, no tie, I had sandals on. And we would see each other for a few minutes as we would pass. He was a few ahead of me in line, but we would pass each other because I would be going this way and he would be going this way. And anybody who knows me knows that I talk to anybody. And I struck up a conversation with this man. And every few minutes as we would pass, we just talked a little bit more about who we were, who our families were, etc. He was a total stranger to me, but we sort of became friendly. Ladies and gentlemen, that person was Pastor John Scott, who said a prayer. And well, I cannot tell you what a wonderful coincidence, honor, and just amazement to me that he should be here tonight a few months later after that coincidental meeting in this crowded airport line some time ago. So thank you for that. Okay. And now moving on, you've heard a little bit about me. I financed actually in 1996 the New Era Homes project, which is located at Angels Estate in Spanish Town, St. Catherine's Parish, just outside of Kingston. Many of you here, most of you here will be familiar with that project. It was a daring effort at the time. There really hadn't been a precedent set, and the National Housing Trust was involved. New Era Homes was my client. They've gone on to become one of the biggest builders and most successful builders in Jamaica at this time. And after that was finished, it took 2 or 3 years, finished in 1999. After it was finished, I got a beautiful letter from a man named Carl Tucker on behalf of the Ministry of Housing and the Environment of Jamaica. It came on official letterhead. And it was just a letter to thank me for having confidence to do that investment in Jamaica and to kickstart what turned out to be many other investments of its sort. Through that experience, I actually fell in love with Jamaica. I've been there many times, vacation, etc., but I got to know the country on a more intimate level. And as has been said, I am definitely a friend of Jamaica, and ever since that time, I had been looking for something else to do there. That opportunity sort of came a few years ago same Mr. Tucker introduced me to a man named Roland Bennett. And Roland Bennett had a piece of land up in St. Mary's Parish, just outside of Ocho Rios, that he wanted to develop. But he could not yet at that point convince me that this was the right project for my next step in Jamaica. We spent some time together. I went to meet him. We spent several hours, but it was basically 3 hours of no. I'm not doing this, okay? But it wasn't just sort of throw him out the door. It was a discussion, and I explained why and what he had to do. And it was a very, very pleasant meeting, and I think he went away suitably impressed. How do I know that? I know that because about 2 or 3 years after that event, I get a call from a young man who's in business school, and he needs a placement in order to complete his degree. And that man has been directed to me by his father, Roland Bennett. His son, Adrian Bennett, was calling me to see if my company needed somebody to intern with them so that he could meet the qualifications of his degree. And the company agreed to hire him. His father had told him. The guy said no to me, but he seemed like a pretty decent guy. It seemed like a pretty decent company. You should check this out. So by and by, Adrian came to work with us, and it has now been, we kept him on after he graduated. It's now been, I think, 5 years, 4 years. Is Adrian here? Can you tell me? Has it been 4 or 5? 5 years he's been with my company. And every year I would say to him, so how's your dad doing with that project? Where's he at? You know, and he would tell me, well, it's moving along, he's got this permit, he's got that permit, doesn't have the money. Fine. A year goes by. So anyways, what's happening with that project? So finally, after 3 years of this, and at this time I know the family very well, I know the level of their integrity because I've spent intimate time with the son, and I've learned about the family, I've learned about the people. Finally, I turned to him one time after one of these discussions. I said, get him up here. Let's see if we can put him out of his misery. Let's take a really good look at this project. And we assign a team. Okay, now he already had the land, he already had it designated, he already knew what he wanted to do. And I put the team of my company, including Brain Ranks and other people who work with us on analyzing this opportunity. And what we determined, this was a great opportunity. This was what this area of Jamaica needed. And we determined that we could do this and that we are going to do it. Just as was said by the representative of the Jamaican Canadian Council, we are going to do this. Now, I want to address a couple of issues. In doing so, I first want to say that my partner, Roland, is not here tonight. You may be surprised to know why he is not here. It's because he has chosen, rather than to be here, to spend his time with 3 women. Those women are Diana, Elizabeth, and Victoria. So before you judge him, okay? And later on this evening, we'll be playing a video for you, and you'll see what he is doing with them. Okay? Construction has started. It is well underway. We are hoping within the space of a very short time to be able to present 3 completed model homes, fully furnished. You can have a look, you can see exactly what this product is going to look like. And then, is it Your Honor? Is it Your Worship? What do you call the consul? Is it Mr. Wilkes? I don't know. Well, then you will be able to say what it's going to be like, because you'll be able to see it and not have to look at it simply on paper. And we're encouraging everybody here to take advantage of that opportunity. The other thing that I want to address is so often, not just in Jamaica, but in Canada, we encounter situations where developers start a project in good faith because of the economy, because of mismanagement, for some reason or another. The project falters financially, the developer ends up bankrupt, people are left in limbo, people are left with their deposits stuck in some lawyer's bank account, legal proceedings, bankruptcy, whatever. This has happened. It happens regularly in virtually every country. Jamaica is no exception. I happen to know that it's happened in Jamaica. And you, as potential buyers, have a very justified reason to be concerned about this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing here before you. I'm doing the best I can to look into each person's eyes. And I'm giving you my pledge that this will not happen with this project. Morrison Financial Services Limited has committed sufficient money to the execution of this project, and we have put sufficient resources into it, and we're putting sufficient management into it, that I'm giving my personal assurance to everybody who is considering investing in this project by the purchase of a home, that this will not be one of those stories. And if you investigate the history of my company, which is now going on just under 30 years of operation, you can't find any of those stories in our portfolio. It is 100% completely clean. So I want you to have that level of confidence as you consider this investment. Now, they only allotted me a certain amount of time, and I think I've used it up. So I'm going to pass on the podium, but there are people here, as was mentioned, who can answer any question and could advance any interest that you have. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. David Morrison. Let's hear it again from Mr. Morrison.